Crashing race cars in this pack. Feel the rush that makes the heart beat fast. In this mad race where nothing is real. Guarding the throttle, no time for fear. In this gray smoke we disappear. Chasing shadows in the blur of fear. Crashing race cars make it loud and clear. We're the kings of the asphalt might. Stars in the dark of the roaring night. Crashing race cars, eyes closed tight. We live in the blink of sight. Oh, we love the sound of tearing steel. Crashing race cars in this pack. Feel the rush that makes the heart beat fast. In this mad race where nothing is real. Guarding the throttle, no time for fear. In this gray smoke we disappear. In this gray smoke we disappear. Chasing shadows in the blur of fear. Running the throttle, no time for fear. We're the kings of the asphalt might. Stars in the dark of the roaring night. Crashing race cars, eyes closed tight. We live in the blink of sight. Oh, we love the sound of tearing steel. Crashing race cars in this pack. Feel the rush that makes the heart beat fast. In this mad race where nothing is real. Tire skids and sparks flying in the fray. Engines roaring as we twist and sway. The smoke rises to clear the way. In the world of racing we come out to play. Metal and rubber on the asphalt tonight. Speeding through chaos in the setting light. Hit the brakes and brace, crashing race cars, it's a glorious sight. Tire skids and sparks flying in the fray. Engines roaring as we twist and sway. Every turn and edge of an epic play. In the world of racing we come out to play. Oh, we love the sound of tearing steel. Crashing race cars in this pack. Feel the rush that makes the heart beat fast. In this mad race where nothing is real. Guarding the throttle, no time for fear. In this gray smoke we disappear. Chasing shadows in the blur of fear. Crashing race cars make it loud and clear. We're the kings of the asphalt might. Stars in the dark of the roaring night. Crashing race cars, eyes closed tight. We live in the blink of sight. Oh, we love the sound of tearing steel. Crashing race cars in this pack. Feel the rush that makes the heart beat fast. In this mad race where nothing is real. Guarding the throttle, no time for fear. In this gray smoke we disappear. In this gray smoke we disappear. Chasing shadows in the blur of fear. Running the throttle, no time for fear. We're the kings of the asphalt might. Stars in the dark of the roaring night. Crashing race cars, eyes closed tight. We live in the blink of sight. Oh, we love the sound of tearing steel. Crashing race cars in this pack. Feel the rush that makes the heart beat fast. In this mad race where nothing is real. skids and sparks flying in the fray. Engines roaring as we twist and sway. The smoke rises to clear the way. In the world of racing we come out to play. Metal and rubber on the asphalt tonight. Speeding through chaos in the setting light. Hit the brakes and brace, crash and race, cause it's a glorious sight. Tires, skids and sparks flying in the fray. Engines roaring as we twist and sway. Every turn and edge of an epic play. In the world of racing we come out to play. Oh, we love the sound of tearing steel. Crashing race cars in this pack. Feel the rush that makes the heart beat fast. In this mad race where nothing is real. Guarding the throttle, no time for fear. In this gray smoke we disappear. Chasing shadows in the blur of fear. Crashing race cars make it loud and clear. We're the kings of the asphalt might. Stars in the dark of the roaring night. Crashing race cars, eyes closed tight. We live in the blink of sight. Oh, we love the sound of tearing steel. Crashing race cars in this pack. Feel the rush that makes the heart beat fast. In this mad race where nothing is real. Guarding the throttle, no time for fear. In this gray smoke we disappear. In this gray smoke we disappear. Chasing shadows in the blur of fear. Running the throttle, no time for fear. We're the kings of the asphalt might. Stars in the dark of the roaring night. Crashing race cars, eyes closed tight. We live in the blink of sight. Oh, we love the sound of tearing steel. Crashing race cars in this pack. Feel the rush that makes the heart beat fast. In this mad race where nothing is real. Tires, skids and sparks flying in the fray. Engines roaring as we twist and sway. The smoke rises to clear the way. In the world of racing we come out to play. Metal and rubber on the asphalt tonight. Speeding through chaos in the setting light. Hit the brakes and brace, crash and race, cause it's a glorious sight. Tires, skids and sparks flying in the fray. Engines roaring as we twist and sway. Every turn and edge of an epic play. In the world of racing we come out to play. Oh, we love the sound of tearing steel. Crashing race cars in this pack. Feel the rush that makes the heart beat fast. In this mad race where nothing is real. Guarding the throttle, no time for fear. In this gray smoke we disappear. Chasing shadows in the blur of fear. Crashing race cars make it loud and clear. We're the kings of the asphalt might. Stars in the dark of the roaring night. Crashing race cars, eyes closed tight. We live in the blink of sight. Oh, we love the sound of tearing steel. Crashing race cars in this pack. Feel the rush that makes the heart beat fast. In this mad race where nothing is real. Gun in the throttle, no time for fear. In this gray smoke we disappear. In this gray smoke we disappear. Chasing shadows in the blur of fear. Running the throttle, no time for fear. We're the kings of the asphalt might. Stars in the dark of the roaring night. Crashing race cars, eyes closed tight. We live in the blink of sight. Oh, we love the sound of tearing steel. Crashing race cars in this pack. Feel the rush that makes the heart beat fast. In this mad race where nothing is real. Tire skids and sparks flying in the fray. Engines roaring as we twist and sway. The smoke rises to clear the way. In the world of racing we come out to play. Metal and rubber on the asphalt tonight. Speeding through chaos in the setting light. Hit the brakes and brace, crashing race cars, it's a glorious sight. Tire skids and sparks flying in the fray. Engines roaring as we twist and sway. Every turn and edge of an epic play.
Good time zones, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kansas Speedway. We are getting ready for round number 9 of the Next Level Gaming Community Racing League right here at Kansas on the iCast Racing Network, which is powered by iRacing. You guys, today we have an absolute phenomenal race for everybody here today. And I don't know about you guys, but these guys have always put on a pretty good, decent event for all of us here. So I'm really excited to get things down and running here as we go ahead and head trackside and catch up with our drivers down on track. Will Byers finishes up his qualifying attempt here. Tom Barish in that number 55 machine, he's finished up down, practicing his pit entry. A lot of new names once again this week here on the iCast Racing Network for the Next Level Gaming Community Series. So we want to welcome everybody that is joining us here for the first time. And let's go ahead and take a quick look here at our track information. Your current air temperature is 74 degrees. Track temperature is 72 degrees. I'm sorry, the air temperature is 72, track temperature is 74. It is overcast with a 7 mile per hour wind. This is a 1.53 mile track. We will be taking this here today for 130 laps. And with that being said, we still got a couple drivers coming out here making their qualifying run here. Kason Hutto in that number 5 machine out of Dillon, South Carolina. He's going to back it down here before he completes his first lap. Alan Reinhardt in that number 25 machine out of Lowell, Illinois, or I'm sorry, Louisville. Alan Reinhardt in that Red Bull Toyota. He's been really fast, especially last week. I believe he brought home the win last week, if I'm not mistaken. And he will go to the top of the charts with a 29.651. So that wasn't a bad time whatsoever there. Kason Hutto, he's going to come out of turn number 4 here and finish up his second lap. As we ride on board here with Kason. Go ahead and back it down here. We have 2 drivers that have not made a qualifying run just yet. That's going to be Matthew Ludwig in the number 19 machine and Freddie Dunaway in that number 27. So now we're just going to sit here, relax, wait for just a few moments here. I do want to apologize to Grizzly. Also his name's Joe Usnickus in the number 89 machine, and to Kyle Davidson in the number 6 for not having the standings up and ready this evening. It's been a very long weekend. I ran the 24 Hours of Le Mans, broadcasted a World 600 race, and unfortunately I didn't get around to get a graphics in for the point standings, but I can go ahead and pull them up here real quick. Let me see where they at. There they are. That's just gonna look a little funky here because it is gonna be done through the iRacing UI. So I said it will look just a tad bit funky to everybody here, but it will make sense once you guys see it all, I promise. Alrighty, let's go ahead and switch it over here to the UI so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So you got Will Byers on top with 358 points. Joe Usnickus back there in second with 321 points. Scott Milner back in third with 297 points. Freddie Dunaway in that machine will be fourth with 275 and rounding out your top 5. Kyle Davidson with 273 points. So we still got a pretty good points battle back here for just about 4th through 6th here. Will Byers with those 5 wins, that's really made a really huge advantage for him heading off here to the regular season. And it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and head down to the track, and let's go over your starting lineup for tonight's the Heartland 130 here at Kansas. Starting on the pole, it's going to be Alan Reinhardt in that number 25 Red Bull machine. My mic just came out of his stand. Kevin Allen in that number 77 machine. He'll start second with Richard Walls in that number 92 starting third. Will Byers in that number 53 machine will start on his outside. Row number 3, you got Kyle Davidson and Trevor Kelly. Row number 4, you have Scott Milner and Gavin Smith. Row number 5, you got Dustin Harding and Joe Yusnickus. Row number 6, you got Tom Barish and Christopher Roska. Row number 7, Jeremy Oliver, Kason Hutto, and rounding out your field is going to be Freddie Dunaway and Matthew Ludwig. Don't let this field of 16 fool you. These guys always put on a phenomenal show. And we're getting ready to have our iRacing pace car driven by the one and only Fred. He's going to pull out here onto the racetrack, and he will bring the rest of the field with him. Up in the flag stand today, we have the one, the only Barney. He's always doing a phenomenal job up there. He's always doing a phenomenal job up in the booth or up in the flag stand for us.
Barney does a hell of a job up in the flag booth.
Yeah, he absolutely does. All right, we're getting ready to go green this time by. We are running the Next Level Gaming Community ARCA Series here.
Yeah, I'm excited for some Kansas. I ain't seen Kansas in a little bit in any league I've been doing here lately.
Yep, absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. Dakota LaRue joining me up here in the booth. So are you loaded up into the session, and are you ready for racing?
I'm about to be. Sorry about my late show up here. Let the time get away from me just a hair.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a very long weekend for the both of us, as we are now green flag racing right here at Kansas. Kevin Allen in that number 77 machine, he gets out to an early lead, but Will Byers in that number 53. He is still chugging along on that outside, trying to get around the 25 of Alan Reinhardt, your pole sitter. And they will come out of turn number 2 in second place. We'll go to Will Byers in that number 53 Taco Bell a Ford Mustang. And he will comfortably take over that second spot. And here comes Richard Walls working on the outside of Alan
I got
Reinhardt.
drive through here. The 25 car is going to be on the bottom.
Oh, we have trouble in the back. Christopher Roska, he's up in the wall. And Kason Hutto as well. They both have significant damage on their front end, as their bumpers are completely missing from those machines. Give me here just one moment.
Yeah, I just want to point out, I really love this track, especially in the ARCA car. There's so many different lanes you can use here and still maintain a decent speed.
Yeah, this track, you know, it may only be like a 1.53 mile track, but this track is absolutely wide, and
We have a big wreck on the front stretch.
Cool your stuff.
Yep, that 44 of Jeremy. Whoa! Big contact there with Jeremy Oliver, and that number 81 of Dustin Harding. Big issues coming down out of turn 4. Gavin Smith in that number 13 machine, he was involved as well. Scott Milner, he was involved in that number 31. Let's go ahead and go back here and take a look, see what happened.
I don't think I've ever seen a car turn that hard up into the wall. That looked like a very hard hit.
Give me 1 second here. All my settings and everything's changed on me is for some odd reason. So now I have to come back here and readjust the cameras and everything as we take a look here at Gavin Smith in that number 13 machine. Let's take a look, see what happened on the exit of turn number 4. So he drifts down to the middle of the track. And the 31 of Scott Milner, he just comes up just a little bit into that outside wall. and then just pure chaos ensues from there with that 81 machine. So let's come back
If
here.
I had to guess, the 13 is just assuming the 31 was going to go down on the apron as many people do here going into the tribal. And just unfortunately, 31 car didn't, and it just led to a bad incident there.
Yeah, absolutely. The 81 slid down into that 44 machine, to avoid that spinning machine, but unable to get it facing the correct direction, and they just caused both drivers here to go for a ride on the front straightaway here. As you see, Gavin Smith leaving pit road. Quite a few drivers here actually took advantage of this caution early on. They came down for either their fuel and tires or just fuel, but the only one who stayed out is going to be Richard Walls in that number 92 machine. Definitely a very interesting strategy call there for these drivers.
Yeah, it never hurts to come down and get a couple extra laps of fuel if you've only ran a couple laps. And then I can't quite remember if they're in fixed or open setups, but they're in open, get a couple of adjustments in early.
Yep, we are currently, these are all fixed.
Then, yeah, a couple drivers probably just come down and get a few extra laps of fuel. I imagine nobody would take tires this early into the run.
Sorry about that. I had to send over the link to the broadcast. And we're getting ready to line them up here. Guys, we're going to do it all over again. So we are completing our first lap here.
All right, in the restart zone, green this time. Outside line getting a major jump on the inside. The V3 is going to be taking over the lead in that Taco Bell Ford Mustang. That was a really good start on the outside line there.
A very good start there, as you see Will Byers in that number 53 quickly getting it in front of the field. And here comes Trevor Kelly in that number 36 on the outside, up in the wall. You're talking about, rim riding the wall, but, that was a little bit too much as he's pinching that number 36, Trevor Kelly, on the outside. And that was Richard Walls in that number 92, but they will go just about 3 wide here down into turn number 1 with that number 77 machine of Kevin Allen. And say they are still 3 wide coming out of turn number 2.
Yeah, and this is allowing our leader of Will Byers to start to pull away a little bit here as we have some issues in the back. Someone on the apron able to gather it up and get back up on the track, luckily.
I'm not sure who that was. I believe that was that 13 of Gavin Smith. But coming back up here to this a big group of cars back here running just about that 7th position, 4th through like 13. Really good racing going on up here for these drivers as they drive down the back straightaway. Oh, be careful, guys. Mind your P's and Q's. Something that, we have been, struggling, here in the past. Past few races here on the ICAST Racing Network is some drivers out here, they're not like having that spatial awareness, and that's something that we just about saw there as one car started coming down the track, probably not realizing that another car was already there, as we have the third, that was the 44 up in the wall.
36 of Trevor in that Mountain Dew Baja Blast Chevrolet. the 92's got a couple people knocking on his door at the moment. Richard Walls. Oh, we got another one in the wall. So, Mike, how'd your 24-hour race go, bud? Or broadcast, I mean.
There's no driver in the 24 hours of Le Mans. Two drivers back out. One backed out at the very start. And then there was a little heated discussion between two drivers. One driver that has the we came back to rally to a 7th place finish, but in iRacing's eyes, we did finish 13th.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to hear.
But I mean, it wasn't too bad. I mean, sitting down decent lap times for myself. 77 back for the 77 up to the wall. They're trying to get so much out of the track and riding that outside line, but they all keep hitting the outside wall, so they might want to readjust and think about how they really want to run this track. As I was saying, I started putting down some, fast lap times, personal lap times for myself of 3:58, but I know like the master drivers, they were down there running freaking 5:53. Still got 3 seconds off pace, but that's normal for myself as I'm not one of the fastest out there, but I love it, trying to see how fast I can go. So, I mean, I'm not going to complain too much on 3:58.
Yeah, I mean, it's not always about who's the fastest. It's more about who's the most consistent. As Will Byers is just pulled away and got himself a pretty good gap here for the lead, and the other Taco Bell car of Dustin Harding, in 2nd place now in that 81 Chevy.
Yeah, Dustin Harding doing a phenomenal job, moving up 7th position since we went green flag racing. So he's the one who's made up the most track positions here. Back here, right about that 4th spot of Scott Milner in that number 31 machine, as he is trying to, put pressure on Richard Wall, but getting pressure back on by Alan Reinhardt. 3 wide coming out of turn number 4. That 92, Richard Wall's getting stuck in the middle, as you see Alan Reinhardt and Scott Milner both get around him all out of turn. Incredible sight to see there.
Yeah, Will Byers is just loving to see all this battling behind him, as it's just allowing him to really maintain his lead and put a bigger gap on everybody at the moment.
Yeah, Will Byers in that number 53 Taco Bell machine. He's just fast. He's bad fast. He's got 5 wins on the season, which are 5 consecutive wins. So. He's pretty happy up there in, we have trouble on the back stretch, but everybody's facing straight. Really good car control out of all these drivers so far. But back to Will Byers, he's been bad fast, won the first 5 races. I believe he missed a couple for a reason or another. So a couple other drivers came out to, come home with the win, but Will Byers in that number 53, he's always somebody that you want to watch, to bring home that win every week, and he's looking to hopefully clinch the championship before the last race of the season.
But don't let now, but Dustin Harding is actually starting to catch up to him a little bit here, and it's kind of weird seeing these drivers run the high line here, as typically I've always been taught you run the bottom to save tires, and I think we're starting to see that pay off as that 2nd place is starting to catch up to our leader.
Yeah, it's all about how you run the high side. The high side, you don't have to turn as much, so you have a little bit more momentum. It will save your tires there just a little bit, but that inside lane still is the fastest way around this track. So with Dustin Harding in that number 81 machine running that low side, he's taking the fastest, shortest way around the track. So he's able to inch his way a little bit each time, but at the same time, depending on how hard Dustin is driving that number 81 machine, that's going to determine how bad his tires get. So he's got to keep an eye on that as well.
Yeah, and then another thing, I'm pretty sure these cars you can flat foot all the way around the track. I may be wrong about that. It's been all the losses I've raced them, but at least the first few laps. Maybe not the whole run, but these two are definitely making themselves known as the main guys to beat tonight, as they're doing a hell of a job maintaining their distance to the back of the pack here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're sitting here taking a look at the driver input tab, but I'm not seeing anything, working on the wheel pedal wise. Let me take a look and see if I can do some quick research on that, see if there's a way we can get that information.
Scott Milner running in third, Albert Reinhardt in fourth, Kyle Davison rounding out your top five. And they're still battling back here for about 6th, 7th back. Still some side-by-side battling going on at the moment.
Okay, yeah, so only when in spectating mode the steering wheel will show.
Oh.
But, I mean, who knows, later on down the road, something else might pop up where we can, get that view of, the inputs of the other drivers.
I believe Kevin Allen was able to make a pass on Kyle Davison there for 5th place, as he's trying to move his way back towards the front of this field at the moment.
Yep, Kevin Allen at number 77. He has lost 3 spots after starting in that second spot since we went green flag. But that's a big majority because, of him, getting into that outside wall, trying to rim right around the track. So now he's just trying to mind his P's and Q's here, and hopefully they can, he can move up further through the field as we jump back here to that number 36 and 44 of Trevor Kelly and Jeremy Oliver. As this little foursome back here is, he's going to bring on a good show back here for that 7th one. Oh, a little bit of a contact there between the 44, I believe it was. No, that double zero machine. Christopher Rosca, who is actually a lap down. So, we're good with, running with lap down cars, but also we want those lap down cars to be respectful that, hey, you are lap down.
And we did have a little moment there with our leader wheel buyers as he got in the wall trying to rim around there, and that allowed for Dustin Harding to catch up slightly, but he was able to get that machine going again and still holding strong on the lead.
Yep, that gap now is just under 0.3 seconds. Look up here in our tower, watch the
Oh, while I hate having to deal with drama while I'm broadcasting. And Dustin Harding getting on the apron trying to get that car to turn around coming out of the turn 4 there. As the top 5 are actually starting to reel in our leaders here.
Is being led by Scott Milner in that number 31 U.S. Army machine. He's really turned around his race season here the last 3 or 4 races now. As you see the 53 of Will Byers yanking his machine down on pit road as we're working lap 30. So we're now starting to see green flag pit stop come in. And as I say that, Scott Milner, he gets right back up onto that back bumper of your new race leader of Dustin Harding. So as I was saying about Milner, he's had a very good, strong run the last 3 or 4 races now. So he's definitely turned his season around as the 81 and 31 both come down pit road. Watch your pit speed, slow it down. We're going to keep an eye on, see if anybody gets a penalty for speeding on pit road.
Yeah.
As the majority of the rest of the field will come out.
Yeah, the 81 getting a little loose as he was going into the his pit entry there. It lost him 2 spots. At the moment, we'll have to see how good his pit stop is and if he's able to recover any of that time. As it looks like the majority of the field's in the pits at this time. And we have the 53 of Will Byers just crossing the start-finish line here, coming around the pits this time. See where he cycles back to, and should be taking back over the lead at the moment.
The rest of the field has now made their way back down on pit road. And they're getting ready to leave the pits now as Will Byers, he will come across start-finish line. And he's looking to take over the race lead right here into turn number 1. So this is going to, separate the field here just a little bit. And we're about to see, the true... We're about to see that true separation, of 1 lap tires difference as Scott Milner, he will take over that second spot just about 2 seconds back behind Will Byers. So one person that really had a rough time there is that number 81 of Dustin Harding. He's fallen all the way back to that 5th spot as he's trying to get around Alan Reinhart in that number 25 machine.
Yeah, Will Byers with I'd say a very perfect pit stop here. He's able to pick up even an extra second of a gap over everybody else here. Also like to say Scott Milner got a very good pit stop as well, as he's got about a 2-second gap between 3rd and 4th and himself.
Just remember on that pit entrance, Dustin Harding, he locked up the tires and he locked them up real hard. So let's come back here, take a look and see, or rewatch his pit entry. Let me see here. I know they're here somewhere. Give me 1 second. There he goes. So we're going to go ahead and jump back and watch that pit entry for Dustin Harding. So he backs it down and then just gets on it a little bit too hard to get down on the pit road. He actually ended up losing 2 positions on that, and Scott Milner and that number 25 of Alan Reinhart both were able to successfully jump around him on the entry. And so that little bit of a issue there on pit road cost Dustin, quite a few positions, as he was still just about 2.2 seconds back from Scott Milner in that number 31 machine.
Yeah, but he was able to get around Albert. Albert gave him a pretty good fight, though, as the 77 is trying to work his way around Albert as well. A couple of these drivers making contact with the apron, and it's getting them a little loose and making them lose some momentum. But
Yeah, this apron is definitely a little bit more forgiving, unlike other tracks like, Las Vegas and Charlotte, especially Daytona and Talladega, probably the new Atlanta as well. So that's a little bit more forgiving. So you can get down there, hit the apron just a little bit. But if you do hit it just wrong, you're still going to be holding on for a ride. So that's something that these drivers also want to keep in mind when making that transition from the baking down onto the apron.
and our leader of Will Byers is coming up on a lap car, and the lap car of Richard Wallace has ended up getting out of the wall. No harm, no foul. If he frees up to get around him.
Yeah, Will Byers now starting to, take on those lap cars here. And the next lap down car on the docket looks like to be that 27 of Freddie Donaway. He was currently fighting hard with Christopher Rosca in that 00 machine out of turn 4.
Yeah, it looked like he made a slight bit of contact with the wall there as well, but both the drivers able to keep it straight.
Jump back here to that 81 of Dustin Harding, the 25 of Alan Reinhart, Kevin Allen in that number 77 machine. This is a pretty decent 4-car battle that you have here that is also with that number 36 of Trevor Kelly. He's falling back just a little bit here, but he's still in the draft of these other drivers out in front of him. So as long as he can keep hitting his marks, I think he'll be just fine. Right now, I think these drivers right now, they're just trying to mind their P's and Q's as we're coming up on lap 45 of 130 laps here at Kansas. So these guys, these guys know when to race and when not to race. So we're probably just about halfway through our second fuel run, as you see that number 92 machine get wicked loose out of turn 2. And here comes that 77 trying to get on the inside of Alan Reinhart for that 4th spot, as they will drag race down here on the front straightaway.
Yeah, if I'm these drivers, I'm going to try to work together to get caught up to our leader here. As he's got about a 2-second gap on second place, and they're about a second back from second, so.
How much important do you know is the draft here?
I mean, as we're seeing with our leader here, I mean, he's able to pull away from the field, and he doesn't really have any draft at the moment. So I'm not going to say it's the most important thing, but especially in these ARCA cars.
As you continue to see that 77 of Kevin Allen trying to work his way around Reinhart, and he does on that inside lane. So that's going to bring Allen up to 4th, and Reinhart down to 5th. Kevin Allen and Alan Reinhart are both trying, really hard to catch the back end of that number 81 machine. Kevin Allen, Alan Reinhart, they're still doing a phenomenal job. A little bit more spacing in between them. Do you know how weird that is to say Kevin Allen and Alan Reinhart?
Well, it's Albert Reinhart, I think, but.
No, he goes by Allen.
Allen, interesting.
Yep, but it's spelled A-L-E-O-N. go ahead and pull that spelling up here for you on screen. So it's A-L-E-O-N, so you can see what I'm saying. I know you can't see what I'm saying here, Dakota, but it's pronounced Allen. So you've got Kevin Allen and Alan Reinhardt.
And speaking of Kevin and Albert, we'll include Dustin in that. They're starting to catch up to second place at Scott Milner, and probably right before the end of pit cycles, might see a pass for second place here.
Yeah, but they should
probably right before we get into pit cycle. Sorry.
Yeah, you know, they are catching quickly up to that 31 of Scott Milner. I thought I was over. I thought I saw that they were actually a little bit closer to Will Byers, but then when I jumped to Will Byers, it showed that he's still 2.2 seconds in front of these guys. So once again, Will Byers showing his true strength in that Taco Bell Ford Mustang. As you guys see, the rest of the field starting to come up right behind Milner.
I will say though, third place of Dustin Harding, fourth and fifth here, they have closed the gap up towards Will Byers as well as catching up to second place.
Absolutely, tire management, you know, especially in these, you know, short runs, you know, in between, you know, your pit cycles here. You know, it's going to be very interesting to see, you know, how much tires these drivers really want to use. As we are just about between 8 to, probably about 13 laps from seeing the field start making their way back down pit road. You know, luckily we didn't see any issues this time getting on, so. But
I expect to hear a leader pit on lap 60. Yeah, I think he's going to do another 30 lap run as it seemed to work out well for him last time. I'm wondering if anyone else will follow.
That's definitely a really good thing to keep an eye on. As you see, Dustin Harding really bringing it in right behind that 31 of Scott Milner. We've got our three-way battle here for second place. Scott Milner, Dustin Harding, and Kevin Allen. Alan Reinhardt, he did go back just a little bit there, roughly half a second behind these guys. So let's see if we can catch up to here to these other three. Right now, we just got the three driver battle for the second spot, or third spot. I'm sorry, no, second spot. One of the spots.
Yeah, it's a three-way battle for a second spot currently. Looks like Dustin Harding is looking to get on the bumper of Scott here, get as much traffic as he can, and running just a slightly different exit to try to maybe get a little more momentum down the straightaway. As we got Scott Milner going down the pits this time.
Yep, and Will Byers, he's down on pit road as well.
That's interesting strategies. It seems just slightly early to be going down pits. But they did have a caution earlier, and a couple drivers did come down for fuel, so that might have a little bit to do with it.
Yeah, that is true. Well, no, because Will Byers, he also came down on that first caution. So it's definitely a very interesting strategy here. As this time, you know, yeah, I mean, if you look at it, but because of that caution, yeah, about 28 laps or so. So that makes a little bit more sense of him coming down about 26 laps in.
Was Dustin Harding going to be taking over our lead here currently? Probably looking to pit here soon. I imagine he's probably only going to go about 1 or 2 more laps here. I will say, with the way the fuel is, you might have to try to stretch your fuel out a few extra laps here to try to make it to the end with one less pit stop.
Yeah, that is true, as we have 73 laps to go this time by. Well, 72.
And the number 81.
Yep.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead. Oh, he had trouble once again. Oh, we have one spun around on pit road. That's the 00 machine of Christopher Rosca. He went for a ride down on the pit road.
Luckily, the 81 didn't lose as much time that time, but he definitely needs to work on his pit entry here, as that's the second time he's almost looped it around coming in.
Let's come back here. Take a look. See what was this? Yeah, I think this was back on the first lap. So I'm gonna have to do it this way then. Back live. I have to rewind it myself. Something I really don't like to do live on stream, but when it's for stuff like this that doesn't register in SDK, I kind of have no choice. But we're gonna go ahead and take a look here, see what happens to that 00 machine. So he comes down, he locks it up, and just spins it out. All the while that Dustin Harding machine, he locks it up down here on pit road, or getting down on the apron. He locks it up. He loses the position to Kevin Allen. That's going to make a big difference here as well, with the rest of his field already coming down pit road. Dustin Harding, he will fall all the way back to that 8th spot, back behind Kyle Davidson and Tom Parrish in that number 55.
Yeah. I just want to say what seems like it's happening is a lot of these drivers are trying to swing it in wide, and they're catching that seam on the apron a lot. They're braking, and it's just making them really loose.
Really making it loose coming out of these corners. Tom Barish in that number 55 machine. I just want to touch up on him real quick. He's making his debut here with the next level community. As I don't recognize his name. Jeremy Oliver in that number 44. I believe he was out with us last week. In that Twisted Speed machine.
You said Twisted?
He's in that Twisted Speed machine.
Nah. And who was that again? I'm sorry.
44. Let me reload my paint.
Oh, that's interesting. I used to make setups for Twisted Speed.
It's a small world. He's going back out. Scott Milner, Alan Reinhardt, battling it out with Kevin Allen in that number 77 machine, and they still got Trevor Kelly right behind them as well.
Yeah, it seems like Will Byers is picking up about a second per pit stop. Not really gaining nor losing during the run to Scott Milner, but he is gaining about a second per pit stop. So I'm wondering if the early pits is benefiting him here. And then the 81 of Dustin is lost about 4 seconds per pit stop just due to him getting loose going into the pit entry there. But a lot of these drivers are doing a pretty good job. I mean, they're keeping it clean. We haven't had but one caution so far this race. And we do have a battle for fourth between the 25 and the 36 here.
We're definitely having a really good battle between these two drivers. Currently, it is in the hands of Alan Reinhardt. As you see that 70 or that number 36 trying to make it work around that outside in that Mountain Dew machine. But unfortunately, he had to let off so that he didn't hit that outside wall. But definitely a really good battle happening right here between these two drivers. While we are in this nice little green flag pit run here, let's go ahead and take a look at our beautiful paint skins here. As you see, Will Byers in that number 53 machine. He's still rocking that Taco Bell Ford Mustang. Scott Milner in that number 31 U.S. Army Chevrolet. We got Midnight Racing League. Number 77, Kevin Allen Reinhardt in that beautiful silver Red Bull Toyota. Trevor Kelly in that Mountain Dew Baja Blast machine, as he kind of got a little bit involved there on the exit of turn 4. Justin Harding in that number 81 Taco Bell machine, as he will crank it down on the inside here. That number 6 of Kyle Davidson in that Monster Energy Chevrolet. Tom Barish in that Freedom number 55 machine. Jeremy Oliver in that Twisted Speed Toyota. Gavin Smith in that Go Bowling number 13 machine. Freddie Dunaway in that number 27 machine. Looks like he's finally got some sponsors on there from Dirty Mo. Richard Walls in that number 92 Aaron Rent-to-Own machine. Kason Hutto in that number 5 Safe Flight Repair Toyota. Drop it back here to that 00 of Christopher Rosca in his Aaron's machine. Joe Snickus in that number 89 Monster Energy Juice Loco machine. Joe Snickus, he's actually struggling here tonight in that number 89 machine. It's not normal for him to be back here in the back of the field, but he's currently sitting 2 laps down, and that's definitely a very tough position there for him, for sure.
All these cars making me think of all these ads, like I want to go to Taco Bell and get a Baja Blast and Safe Flight Repair, Safe Flight Replace. I mean, that's just catchy jingles.
Absolutely, and that is one of the biggest things about those commercial jingles. They get it stuck in your head. Ba da ba ba ba.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
I was loving it back before it's $30 to get 2 cheeseburgers and some fries, but
I mean, you ain't lying. You ain't lying on that whatsoever. I used to take my family to home for good little family dinner for like $25, and now $50 later.
yeah, our second place is Scott Milner is actually gaining a little ground on Will Byers at the moment. Dustin Harding making his way up to the field, went from 13 seconds back to about 10. Trevor Kelly about 6 back now. So some of these drivers do have speed. They just need to get the pit stop. The pit stop's going to be key here to try to make up a little more ground on Will Byers.
Dustin Harding, we're talking to you.
As he is completely dominating this race at the moment.
Yeah, Will Byers in that number 53 machine. It doesn't surprise me whatsoever to see Will Byers out front, dominating like he does. So far, he has led a total of 62 laps.
Go ahead.
He's led all the laps except a few laps that when we're doing our pit cycles. So he's very dominant. He's always been dominant. So seeing him up here, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
Yeah, but one thing to keep in mind though is it doesn't matter how many laps you led unless you leave the last lap. All right.
Yeah, that is very true.
As anything can still happen. There could be a caution at any time and throw a wrench in everybody's plan.
Yeah, definitely. It can change the whole entire dynamic of this race. Let's go ahead and take a look now at the best times of the race. Currently, the driver with the fastest time is going to be Kevin Allen in that number 77 machine with a 29.72. So that's a really good run there, or lap time for Allen. So he's definitely faster than Will Byers. Milner, he's faster than Will Byers as well. So they just got to put those laps together, and really start to make some noise up front.
Yeah, then I also like to say Kyle Davison running some of the fastest laps on the track right now, as he's behind Dustin Harding at the moment.
Kyle Davison, I think his crew threw some Monster Energy into that gas tank along with that ethanol fuel that these drivers run. So it's going to be very interesting, to watch Kyle. He may not be the fastest driver week in and week out like Will Byers. But one thing with him is he's very consistent, and that is why he is up. I believe we discussed this second in the point
As we have some people getting on pits, our leader getting a little sideways there, coming onto the entry. Scott's going to be following the leader in, Kevin. A lot of people have noticed that Will Byers is getting such a good jump going into the pits this early and just following him right in, it seems like.
Yeah, as you can see here on our screen, Will Byers, Scott Milner, Kevin Allen, Tom Barish, they're down. Jason Hutto, he's having some issues back there. He's currently in the pits, but I believe he may be done for the day.
I hate to say it, but with there being a lack of cautions, these drivers are going to have to start. It's go time. I mean, it's lap 82. We're going to start pushing hard here, try to make up some time and momentum on other drivers.
Yeah, for sure. As we see Will Byers coming out of the pits and quickly get around that lap car of Jason Hutto. Hutto actually had a better lap pit time than Will Byers, so that was very interesting to see there. As Alan Reinhardt in that number 25 is making his way down on pit road with Freddie Donaway. And that will turn the race lead over to Trevor Kelly in that number 36 Mountain Baja Blast Chevrolet. I do know that since he's going to be coming down pit road soon, let's ride on board with him until he comes down pit road, which will be this time by good timing. And that just kind of shows right there, how rough it is to get down. Just get down on pit road all around. It's really tough.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, though. Some of these drivers that are staying out longer are going to have a better fuel strategy here. I'm not quite sure these drivers are going to be able to make it all the way after the next pit stop.
Yeah, we're going to watch Harding here once again come down pit road. Much, much better entry there for Harding, as he is followed by Kyle Davidson. So that was a lot better, into the pit stall here for Harding. I can't. Good job there, Dustin. That was an incredible entry. The race will now be handed over to Jeremy Oliver in that number 44 Twisted Speed Toyota Camry. We are still waiting for him to come down pit road, and he will be our final driver that should be coming down into the pit.
As I believe he's coming down now.
Left, slow it down, and he will probably get a penalty for speeding on pit road. that is not the kind of mistake that you want to make here on pit road. You want to throw it into the other gear, buddy. No, other gear, first gear. There you go.
Luckily, he didn't make contact with the wall, so he has no damage, but it's still just, you hate to see that.
Yeah, definitely a very unfortunate situation there for Jeremy Oliver, number 44, as he is actually just slowly moving it down pit road. We're going to jump back up here to our race leader. It's going to be, of course, Will Byers. However, Scott Milner, he is now only just about 3 seconds behind. So, Milner on this pit cycle, he actually gained a couple seconds on your race leader.
Yeah, I think he's been a little faster over the long run here, but we'll see how it plays out towards the end of this race.
Going through, looking at the gaps between everybody. The closest battle we have is going to be here for that 6th spot between Tom Barish in that 55 and Kyle Davidson. As we jump to them, they're running side by side for a 6th spot, and it will go to the 6 of Kyle Davidson as they enter turn number 1. A lot of good racing here today. You know, no one's really like asserting their true dominance over the other people as they are battling it out for these positions. No one has really shown his dominance is at number 53 of Will Byers.
An update on Mr. Oliver in that 44 Toyota is just not able to get off pit road as he probably had a black flag and unable to uncheck his tires and stuff to make the black flag shorter, so.
Unfortunately, when you run these things till the last possible second, as you see Oliver coming back out onto the track. You know, unfortunately, when you get to that point where you have no choice but to pit and take tires despite a, you know, penalty, that's one of those, you know, moments that it's like, well, dang it. But that was also at the same time, it was a pretty smart move because then he would have to come back down pit road again, waste all that time, and then including that penalty, or that, you know, get tires and fuels that second time by. So might as well just go ahead and take it all at once and, you know, try to save as much as you can.
Yeah, but so we have about 8 drivers on the lead lap at the moment. Dustin Harding being the last of the lead lap drivers, about 13 seconds back from our leader. Scar.
That second through 4th here, they're starting to get back nose to tail from each other. There's less than about a half second between third through 5th. As you see, Reinhardt right back on the back end of Allen, and Allen is almost back to the back bumper of that 31 and Scott Miller.
Yeah, they are slowly reeling them in as Milner isn't really catching or losing on Byers at the moment as well. But we'll see how he does on the long run here, because he's been a little bit better on the long run, I believe. Kevin Allen's going to be having the draft off the 31 of Milner, and that should be helping him pull up there. And if they work together, they might be able to run some more time down on Will Byers.
I'm looking at it now. We have 37 laps to go. I believe these guys are going to have to make at least one more pit stop. You know, so the question's going to be, do you take tires and just try to hold out on 6 lap old tires? Or are you going to come down and get 4 fresh cruiser tires on these machines?
Definitely getting 4 fresh tires and fuel. You're going to lose so much time not taking tires.
All right, now we got the battle for a second here. You see Allen work on the outside. sorry, you see Alan Reinhardt working on the outside of Allen, and they're right going back over now for Milner as they enter turn number 3. Reinhardt has the position, but Allen is coming back strong on that inside lane as they're going to continue to drag race down the front straightaway, and that's allowed Scott Milner in that number 31 US Army Chevrolet pull a little bit more away from these two drivers. So these two need to really, when they go to make the pass, they got to try to be quick about it so that they don't lose too much time on
Yeah, as I believe Milner might be coming up on some lap traffic here as well, so we'll have to see how that plays out.
are getting ready to pass. Right in front
The 5 at Cason.
the 5 in case of Hutto. Yeah, he's. Oh, and here comes Reinhardt on the inside of Milner, and he's looking to overtake that second spot. And here comes that 77 as they're looking to go 3 wide with that lap down car of Hutto. But the 31 of Milner will go ahead and back it out as he knows that if he gets into a wreck, well, that's just going to end his top 4 finish of the day either way. So he went ahead and backed it down. Now he's going to try to work his way back to the inside of Kevin Allen here on the exit of turn 2, and he is on the inside. They're going to drag race down to that straightaway. Milner's so strong out of turn 2. He will complete the pass heading into turn number 3, and that's going to put Allen back in that 4th spot. As Milner now, he's going to start taking a look over at Reinhardt, but Kevin Allen, he's right on the back bumper of that number 31 machine, not giving him any time to plan his next moves to try to get back around Reinhardt.
As we should be coming to 31 to go this time by. I mean, I would really think these drivers would be trying to work together to get caught up to race for the actual lead here, but they're battling pretty hard for this second, third spot.
The separation between these drivers here and the race leader, Will Byers, is just a little over 3 seconds now. As you see that 5 machine of Hutto, he's not really giving up much room here to these 3 front drivers. He's still just, saying, hey guys, don't forget about me, I want to race too, as they dive down here into turn 3 and 4 back to the front straight. Milner now trying to figure out how to get around that number 77 of Allen, and now Allen, he is also trying to figure out a way from that number 25 machine of Reinhardt. Reinhardt goes high through turns 3 and 4, and that's going to allow Kevin Allen to get right to the back bumper of Reinhardt. And now Allen, he's going to try to find a way to get around Reinhardt. But here comes that number 31 of Milner. He's trying to make a move on 77 now on the exit of turn 2. It seems like once one of these drivers makes a move, the other one goes, hey, I'm coming with you, wait for me.
Yeah, they're battling pretty hard, trying to get around one another.
And they have so far made up a half a second on your race leader, Will Byers, as these guys are continuing to run as hard as they can. I think in the long run, with these guys, trying to battle hard and be faster than one another, that they're actually outpacing your race leader, Will Byers, and so amongst all this mess, they have gained on your race leader.
Yeah, but to that point, if they are able to catch up to them, I don't know that they're going to have the tires to do much, as Will Byers is just kind of on cruise control at the moment.
Will Byers is on control out front as he's making his way up to the back bumper of that 00 machine. Christopher Rosca, he's just cruising right now, minding his P's and Q's as he's working on the inside, trying to get to the back bumper of that 00 machine. But I think at this point right now, I think Byers is just, like I said, he's just cruising at the moment. for second. You know, you guys haven't really missed much. They're still battling it out like crazy. Still being led here by Alan Reinhardt. Kevin Allen, he's trying to get back around him. And Miller, he's trying to get back around both of these guys.
So we should be getting close to pit stops again here. We should have 25 to go this time.
Yep, 25 laps to go. And I was actually getting ready to mention that, you know, it's now in that moment of when to come in. Dustin Harding in that number 81 machine, he's brought his machine down pit road. And with pit cycles now commencing, when does everybody else decide to start coming down pit road?
Well, if I had to guess, Will Byers is going to follow the trend of pitting in first.
Yep, he's
But
coming down now. Whoa, big. Scott Milner messed up getting down on pit road. He was trying to follow Alan Reinhardt in, but he just was way too fast. And Alan Reinhardt, he was able to slow it down enough to get down on pit road. I don't believe he got a black flag for too fast entering. Dustin Harding, he is now leaving pits now. And your 77 driver of Kevin Allen, what a beautiful entrance there, as he's going to bring his machine down. And the 05 machine spun it around, and he hit the inside wall, but no caution just yet, as Milner finally gets back down on pit road. Unfortunately, with only 23 laps to go, I think Milner's shot at winning this because of that mistake there has just got tossed out the window.
Yeah, he's going to have to hope for a caution as Trevor Kelly's still out on the track yet to pit, and Kyle Davison.
Trevor Kelly, he's going to elect to stay out, as Kyle Davison, he's going to bring it down onto the apron and back it down. So he's going to come in now, and Will Byers is going to take over fourth spot from them. Next up to third. Trevor Kelly in that number 36 Mountain Dew Baja Blast machine. He's going to back it down onto pit road, and he's going to give it all he's got heading down into the pits now. Very good entry there for Trevor Kelly, as Will Byers, he makes his way around Trevor Kelly to get his lap back. Alan Reinhardt just about 2.5 seconds back from him. And then Kevin Allen in that number 77 machine, he lost 2 seconds to Alan Reinhardt. So now it's more along the lines of it being a, set, distance between a lot of these drivers. As you see Will Byers coming back across the start-finish line. Trevor Kelly has not left pit road yet, as he will exit now. That's going to give it over to Will Byers again with that number 53 machine. Allen in that number 25 Red Bull machine. He'll be second, just about 3 seconds back behind him. And then you guys about 2-second gap back to that number 77 of Kevin Allen.
No, we should be coming 20 to go this time by as Will crosses the line here. These drivers are really going to have to put forth a great effort to try to get called up to him if they're wanting to win this race. As Allen's got the best chances, been about 2.8 seconds back, but it's just been a Will Byers getting into the pits and out with real precision has been gaining him a lot of time here.
I cannot agree 100% with that. He's now up to about 3 seconds on Reinhardt. So right now, Byers, he's turned up the pace. He's now running a 2.98. Actually, he just ran his fastest lap of a 29.76. But that's still not faster than Kevin Allen. Yeah, Kevin Allen. It's not faster than what Kevin Allen nor what Alan Reinhardt had. So he's definitely turning up the pace here in that number 53 of Will Byers. He's definitely making his moves here a little bit, as Alan Reinhardt has got back down to 0.7 separation from 3 seconds. So Alan Reinhardt, he's not done yet trying to track down that 53, but question will be, will he have enough time? Around that number 27 machine is ready down away, as he's actually having issues getting around the 27. So the 27, he's giving Allen a good run for his money at the moment. Allen is trying to figure out how to get around Dunaway. Richard Walls with that number 92 machine. He got up into the wall on the exit of turn 4. Heading down into turn 1 that last time by. As you see, Dunaway and Reinhardt both will speed past him as he will come down pit road.
Yeah, Jeremy Oliver also getting into the wall coming out of 2 right in front of, I believe that was Trevor Kelly. But both of them drivers able to avoid an incident there.
Also, I want to point out, jump back here to this number 89, Joe Usnikas. Snuck us in number 89 machine. You know, he's hasn't been the fastest, but he's been able to move himself from the 15th lap all the way up to the 11th. He is 5 seconds back from Gavin Smith, that number 13. You know, this just hasn't been really kind ways to Joe. So very surprised to see Joe back this far back in leaderboard.
As Reinhardt is actually starting to lose some ground to Byers at the moment. As Byers has really picked up the pace, flipped his turbo on per se, and Kevin Allen is making up time to Alan Reinhardt. So they might have a battle for second place right as we're coming to the closing laps. We got about 12 to go this time as they cross the line.
Kevin Allen has done a phenomenal job at tracking down Alan Reinhardt. So this is going to be a good battle here for that second spot in the closing laps, as we have we have 12 laps to go this time. We know as long as Will Byers, minds his P's and Q's the remainder of this race, we know that he's got this race in the bag, as he's made his separation between these two to just about 3.5 seconds. So now it just boils down to who's going to come in second, and we're about to find out here in the closing lap as we have.
Yeah, that 77 of Kevin Allen seems to be a lot faster than Alan Reinhardt at the moment. I'm not sure how much fresher tires he has, but he is all over him as he's going to make a move on the inside going into 3 and 4 here. And he's able to make it stick to bottom. He's just carrying so much more speed.
Now drag racing down here on the front straightaway. Allen to the inside of Reinhardt as they come down to turn number 1. Now Alan Reinhardt, he can really keep that momentum up in that middle groove. As you see, he will rocket back in front of Kevin Allen. So that just proves that, that middle lane, that's also a good lane to be in, for speed on exit of the road. And this time around out of turn 4, Allen was able to get closer to the back bumper of Reinhardt. This is going to be a very fun last few laps here between these two drivers.
Yeah, and as I will say again, like I said at the start of the race, I love this track, and especially in these cars. You can run high, you can run middle high, you can run middle, you can run low. I mean, you can use any lane on this track and still be competitive.
And this is one of those tracks where I believe every edge of this track has seen a tire mark at some point. You can, like you said, you can run anywhere. And you don't necessarily need to, have a consistent middle lane. You don't need to have a consistent high lane. You can run 2 feet off the bottom, 3 feet off the bottom, 6 feet off the bottom, all the way up out to that outside wall, and you can still still be fast depending on how well you can handle your race.
Yeah. And Reinhardt's doing a really good job right now using that dirty air to kind of slow up the 77 through the corners. He didn't do it that time, but the past couple corners I've been watching him, he's really been using that dirty air, which will make Kevin tight. And see, he's able to gain a little momentum there.
Now, I was watching him as on entry of these corners. He'll start up high, work his way through the middle, and then like halfway through the corner, he'll yank it to that bottom, as you see him do it right here. So
And
he's able to keep that dirty air, on Kevin Allen, and that just really upsets that car behind you when you do that. Alan Reinhardt using that air to his advantage.
yeah, but Kevin Allen is definitely still making it work even with the dirty air. I mean, he's not giving too much off of these corners here, and he's making it back up on the straightaway using the draft.
Yeah, for sure. And when we sit here and we talk about, and at this time, Allen, he's got able to get a run on Reinhardt here, as they will come drag racing down the front straightaway with 5 laps to go. It looks like Kevin Allen, he will take over from Alan Reinhardt, but Reinhardt comes back firing on that middle lane, as he will go ahead and retake over that second spot. Oh, taps the wall just a little bit, and that will allow Kevin Allen to get a run. And also that number 27 of Freddie Dunaway, as he's going to try to make some noise with these guys here in the closing laps. Dunaway, he is 1 lap down, so he's not necessarily, in the running. So at this point, Alan Reinhardt, he's probably upset that Dunaway is trying to, battle these the way he's battling them now with 4 laps to go.
No, it seems like Dunaway let him back by. I mean, Allen did slow quite a bit there, but Alan Reinhardt definitely sending it really hard into the corner, and just the car looked like it got a little upset and didn't hold. But he's still not out of this race, as we have 3 laps to go this time as we cross the line. There is plenty of time for him to get caught up and make another move at the closing lap here. But Will Byers putting a 4-second gap on our second place here, and doing a hell of a job leading this race. The only hope they got of catching him is going to be a caution.
Always, like I said at the beginning, he's always dominant no matter where we go. So, I'm starting to get to the point with this series where I'm just going to ignore everybody except Will Byers. We already know he's going to win, as we have 2 laps to go.
I wouldn't say that. Anything can happen at any time, man. All because you're fast does not mean you're going to win a race. I had to learn that the hard way, and other people will as well.
We jump back up here with Will Byers out of Circle Pines, Minnesota. He will come across the line, and he will take the white flag, which is presented by SDK Gaming, as he enters turn number 1 right around that high side. Once again, Will Byers having a phenomenal race here today. He's led 108 laps, led the most laps today, as he has 1 more corner to take. And here he comes, ladies and gentlemen, driver of Taco Bell number 53 Ford Mustang. Your race winner here at Kansas is going to be Will Byers. As we jump back here to this race for a second, that got spread out. So Kevin Allen will come home second in that number 77 machine. And Alan Reinhardt, he will come out here, finish 3rd, followed by Trevor Kelly. Scott Milner will bring it home in that 5th, or that number 31 machine. Kyle Davidson, 6th. Dustin Harding had very unfortunate situations when it came to pit road. He fell back to that 7th spot. Tom Barish in that number 55 machine, he will bring it home 8th. Freddie Dunaway, he'll bring it home 9th. Gavin Smith, he will bring it home 10th in that number 13 machine. Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible race we have had today. We're going to take a brief commercial break, as these cars are having a little bit of fun now here on the front straightaway. A couple cars getting torn up. But this is something that these guys always do post races.
Yeah, Will Byers is crab walking at the moment.
just a little bit, as he's now have a lot of damage to the back end of his race car. But we're going to go ahead and take a brief break here, and then when we come back, we will get down to some live interviews with our top 3 drivers. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, give me just a few moments here, and and we'll be back here momentarily.
Are we clear? Um,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kansas Speedway. Before we start our interviews, let's go ahead and take a look at our race results. What a really phenomenal race that we have had here today. Will Byers in that number 53 machine coming home first. Kevin Allen in that number 77. He had a very strong run today in that number 77, so he's brought it home second. Alan Reinhart, once again, strong finish for BDR, and he'll bring it home 25th. Fourth, you got Trevor Kelly. Fifth, Scott Milner. Kyle Davidson, Dustin Harding, Tom Barish, Freddie Dunaway, Gavin Smith, your top 10. Joe Yusnukas has brought his vehicle back up to that 11th spot after having a really rough race here at Kansas. Kason Hutto, Christopher Roska, Richard Walls, Jeremy Oliver, and Matthew Ludwig, who had mechanical issues down on pit road, unable to start this race. So definitely a very unfortunate situation there for Ludwig in that number 19 machine. So at this time, let's go ahead and let's see what we can do about bringing up some drivers here. First off, we're going to bring up driver of that number 25 Red Bull machine of Alan Reinhart. Alan, do you got a copy, buddy? Alan, you had a very, very strong day today here at Kansas. Will you walk us through your day here and what's your thoughts about the race? Yeah, between Kevin, Allen, yourself, and Scott Milner in that number 31 machine, you guys had, pretty good battle throughout the good portion of the middle of the race, even, despite, all those green flag pit stops everybody made. You guys got separated. Then probably about 10 laps into that run, you guys always found each other again. What was it like, battling hard with Kevin and Scott Milner there for a majority of the race? Oh, yeah, absolutely. And before I do let you go today, do you got anybody that you would like to thank? Beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your third place runner up today, driving that number 25 Red Bull Toyota, Alan Reinhardt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what we can do about getting Kevin Allen in here. I believe this is him. Let me go ahead and pull him up here. Kevin Allen, do you got a copy? Kevin, what an incredible run for you, finishing up second here today at Kansas. For the good majority of the race, you were running side by side with Alan Reinhardt and Scott Milner. How was your race overall? How was your car? And what was it like, running with those guys the majority of the race?
The first two times I did that, he just kept on jumping. So after that, I was just like, I might as well just pit with him and just not lose as much time. And then had a really good battle with the 25. Albert, is that right? Is that his name?
Yes, Alan Reinhardt.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I had a good battle with him. Car felt great the whole race. And tires really didn't fall off. It was mainly just making sure I put it in time for fuel, and yeah, good race overall. It was a really, compared to last week, it was a much more cleaner. It was a super good race.
Yeah, we definitely had fun watching you, Alan Reinhardt and Scott Milner there, duke it out for that second spot. Before I let you go today, is there anybody that you would like to thank?
Shout out to Midnight Racing League, and shout out to you guys for running this league. It's super fun. I'm glad I found it on Hosteds, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, driver of that number 77 machine, Kevin Allen. Congratulations on your second place, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thank you. See ya.
See ya. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and bring up once again driver of that number 53 Taco Bell Ford Mustang, Will the Wheelman Byers. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
Doing pretty good. Will, once again, you had a phenomenal race. Coming out here running, leading about, what was it, 110 laps today, maybe a little bit more. How was that number 53 machine today?
Oh, it handled great. High side was working well, and allowed me to basically just run full throttle the entire race. And I think running full throttle got me a little bit offset to the rest of the guys on pit strategy. And I think that extra lap every time definitely helped.
Yeah, for sure. You were very strong getting on and off pit road. We only saw one caution here today, which is very unique here for Next Level Gaming community. So we had quite a few green flag pit stops. And were you worried at all trying to get down on this very hard pit road?
I wasn't worried getting on. Getting off was more of the concern, because with the box that I had, it's always a concern where you barely just don't hit, or you hit the limit right before the exit, so you always maybe accelerate just a little too quick. And I had a little scare where I think I exited one over, but it didn't give me a penalty, so we take it.
Absolutely. And you once again, with this one, you solidify yourself more forward from everybody else in the point standings. So do you think it's too early to possibly call you a champion?
I believe if my math isn't wrong, I actually think I clinched it tonight. So, with the races that we have left, so yeah, champs.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm gonna actually try to crunch some numbers here and um, use Chat GPT to see what if the numbers I do throw out are correct. And but yeah, so you are correct. I believe with your win today here, that did clinch the championship for you. So if that's the case, congratulations. We'll see you next week, and we'll definitely celebrate then.
For sure, gonna have some fun.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm gonna go and send you back down,
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen. Driver of that number 53 machine. Um, let's go ahead and bring Joe Yusnickas. I know he's going to be in some conversation here, but I want to go ahead and drag
My
Joe.
God, are you
Joe,
still talking?
yes,
Yo,
yes, I am still talking. Joe Yusnickas, how are you doing today, buddy?
good. I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah, so I just want to bring you up here real quick. All around this race was probably one of the best races of the season. Um, you know, Not talking about your finishing order, which is or finishing spot, which is kind of rough for you. Not normal of you, but all around really good racing here at Kansas. What are your thoughts about the overall experience here tonight?
Oh, it was a good race. I'm glad it wasn't a caution fest. It just sucked at the beginning of the race. I don't know what happened. I just started at the end of the longest line. And then during the first caution, I had equipment failure, which is why I had to go in pits for a couple laps.
I got you. Yeah, I was very curious on that because it's like I saw you down pit road. I'm like, hey, that's not normal of Joe Yusnickas. And
Nope,
then,
my throttle stuck wide open.
oh
It was
man,
stuck.
what? That's a bummer. But yeah, I mean, overall, really good race. One caution tonight. Probably one of the best races all season. And if my
It,
calculations are correct, I believe Will Byers clinched the championship with his win tonight. But I'm gonna
yes, I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, so I'm gonna buckle down and crunch some numbers for you guys, and get that clarification. But so we still got a few more races left in this season, and to call Will Byers a champion this early is definitely one for the record books out of all the leagues that I've been broadcasting for.
I believe next week is the championship race. It's the last race of this season.
Oh, really? Are we there already?
Yep. Yep.
Well, then I guess it's not too early to call him champion.
Nah.
So, I would like to just touch up, before I do let you go here today. Um, this first season for you guys here on iRacing with the Next Level Gaming Community has definitely been a very amazing season all around. I've really enjoyed the broadcasting with you guys here. You guys always put on a good show for those at home, and so I want to thank you guys for allowing me to be up here with you guys for your first season, and I'm
Oh,
hoping
we were
to
happy to have you.
do many, many more with you guys.
Alrighty. Yeah, the next season will be a lot more competitive. There's a lot more technical tracks. And of course, there's going to be another dirt track. I think next season's going to blow this season away, like attendance wise and everything.
Awesome. I cannot wait for that. Alrighty, Joe, I'll go ahead and let you go, buddy. We will see you next week for the season finale.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Joe Yusnickas in that number 89 machine. Yeah, okay, so I mean, I cannot believe that we are coming down now to the final race of the season next week. Yeah, so you guys, make sure you guys come back next week. Tune in. We're gonna be out here having a good old time. You guys know how it usually goes. And yeah, so next week or tomorrow night, you guys, we'll be live back with Fast Action Racing Series as they tackle one of the most interesting tracks on their schedule. So you guys, make sure you guys come tune in with them. Same time, same place. We'll be going live about 7:40 p.m. Racing starting at 8. And until then, you guys, we'll see you next time in happy time zones. You guys have yourself an amazing, beautiful week, and we'll see you guys next time. Adios. Yes, and happy Halloween to those of you that celebrate it. All right. Until then, happy time zones, ladies and gentlemen, and goodbye from Kansas.
Filling rubber on the asphalt tonight. Speeding through chaos in the setting light. Hit the brakes and brace, crash and race, cause it's a glorious sight. Tires, skids and sparks flying in the fray. Engines roaring as we twist and sway. Every turn and edge of an epic play. In the world of racing we come out to play. Oh, we love the sound of tearing steel. Crashing race cars in this pack. Feel the rush that makes the heart beat fast. In this mad race where nothing is real. Guarding the throttle, no time for fear. In this gray smoke we disappear. Chasing shadows in the blur of fear. Crashing